Hey everybody, Brian here from Fitzpatrick's. I want to show you this car here. This is a really nice car, and these are pretty seldom so there. And this one's a little bit different just because it has a different interior to what they normally come with. So this is Honda Civic 1.5 Turbo, and this is what's called a GT model. And like we said to you, this one has upgraded interior, so it's got full beige leather. This one's a really nice example because we actually sold the car brand new. So there was a lady that bought the car from us back in 2018 brand new. She had a 320 BMW Coupe, and she really liked the Civic GT when she came in and saw it. But like we're saying to you then, she specified beige leather, which is quite seldom in these, and against a black car it looks amazing. Anyway, in this video what we're going to do is have a look around the features on the outside and the inside of the car. I'll go for driving the car, and hopefully by the end of the video then you'll have a better idea of what this GT version is all about in a Honda Civic 1.5 Turbo. For anyone that's interested in buying the car, if there's information you want on the car, 086 843 1945, call, text, WhatsApp. Brian's my name, and I'll be happy to go through information on maybe scrapping an old car or trading in your car or financing, or if you just want to know more information about this car in particular. Anyway, let's start off having a look around the features on the outside. So it's keyless entry, so what I can do obviously is use the normal fob lock, unlock, or what I can do is I can just leave that in my pocket, and then I can get in and out of the car by putting my hand in here. Actually, let's lock it first. So I can lock using the button. If I hit the button a second time, it also brings in the wing mirrors, and then to get into the car I can just, and you hear the way it unlocks. And just while we're on that topic then, the key will also do some functionality for the windows, and say things like, because this is a GT you do get a sunroof, or similarly then if I lock the car once, hit the lock button a second time, brings in the wing mirrors, and it also brings back the window and also the sunroof then as well. I really think they got the shape of this car right when they made it. That central exhaust, it really kind of, I suppose on these 1.5 models, it makes them stand out from the normal 1 litres and 1.6 diesels. The rear of the car, in my opinion, is like super symmetrical. So small details, like say for example, if you look at the nice LEDs all the way around the rear, so on both sides, but see the way, right now, this is kind of crazy talking some ways, but see the shape of the C? You have the C there. I know it's the opposite way around, but to some people, well, like me, it just reminds me of the two C's on either side. Anyway, that's crazy talk, but they are small details that add up. Like you're saying to you, I really love that exhaust, and I mean, it makes a nice little hum as well when the car is ticking over. So it makes you feel like you're, you know, driving something that's a little bit sportier than a normal car. Black has to be one of my favourite colours on these cars. So when you're looking around the car, just kind of black little plastic panels there and there, and on the front as well, but they're all hidden on a black car, so they don't really stand out. So it looks like kind of everything is completely colour coded. The wheels are a nice diamond cut finish, so you can see on a morning like this morning where they're kind of really shiny looking, but under artificial light or sunny days or whatever, they're shiny and reflective, so they look really nice when the car is turning, or sorry, when the wheels are turning. Other things then, say for example those spoilers, like I mean, they look kind of sporty, but air kind of gets dragged down in here, out through there in a really aerodynamic fashion. And then because it's a black car, this is actually normally black on every colour you get, whereas this is colour coded, but in this case it looks like two black spoilers, so it's really nice. This black section here is standard on all of them, but like we're saying, we have those really nice LEDs. And then because it's GT, with the exhaust you have a different back bumper, so you have this extra garnish that goes down along here all the way around. Looks really nice. Again, because it's 1.5, you get the longer side skirt, so normally they don't have a side skirt unless it's the higher powered versions like this. So little side skirt all the way, and then when you come around to the front, it also has extra just down along here in the corners, little splitters that again make the car look more aggressive than the normal, let's say 1 litre or 1.6 version. And then on a morning like this morning, because this one has the beige interior, you can see it inside the car, so I think it looks really nice and upmarket. One other thing I really like in Civics is these side markers along through here. So small detail, just reminds me of the way Volvos used to be here as well. Maybe they still are like that, but when you're driving behind one of these at night time, they are, well, maybe I'm biased, but I think they're a really impressive car to look at night time. And one of the things I like is the way the side runner kind of sits over there, and makes the front of the car look wider. But next time you look at one on the road, it's a really visually impressive shape at night time when you're driving behind it with those big LED lights. And then because it is a GT, well actually that's not true, a lot of the Civics have it, but it does have a nice privacy tint along the rear of the car, so you know, it's obviously practical, but it looks really stylish as well. Other things then, as a 1.5 in 2018, they were the only models that got the nice LED indicators up along here, and then LED daytime running light was standard, but these becoming LED headlights and full lights were not standard unless you bought the higher output version. And then the front fog lights became LED, again only standard on the higher output version. And these nice light washers as well, again only standard on the higher output versions like these. A really, really stunning car. I have to say, well, I was like tons of Civics when I was growing up, and I had tons of them anyway, but this is one of my favourite cars that I ever sold. There was good power in them, but they were still comfortable. They weren't absolutely everywhere, so they were a bit kind of unusual. And then a nice GT like this was the highest spec in them, so it had some lovely features we'll see on the inside. And then this one in particular, just because it has beige leather, just to bring up the interior and make it a little bit more classy. You know, there's not many ones around like this. This is, in my opinion, a really, really nice version. Actually, you know what, while we're at it, let's have a look around the inside of the car. Okay, let's try that again after we actually open the car. So the boot is absolutely massive in these. The previous owner actually got this divider. That's not standard normally on them. So underneath that then, it is a 1.5, which means it has a slightly smaller boot than the 1 litre versions because it has to make space for the exhaust. She also got a spare wheel at the time, which again wasn't standard. So someone's getting a nice setup there because the spare wheel is not standard on them, and this boot liner, which obviously protects the boot underneath, so the boot will be in really nice condition, that's not standard. And then with the dividers as well, so it's really, really useful. The boot is really big in them anyway. We've always had these kind of cars when we went on holidays, and they're really practical. And the way that pulls over, people used to say it's flimsy, but the idea is that it's flexible for awkward stuff, and then it's doubled up with another one up here for privacy as well. Even though for practical sake, what you can do is drop the seats down and you end up basically with a car style van, massive amount of space, and even if you take these out, which is literally just pull it straight out, you end up with an awful lot of space in the rear of the vehicle. Anyway, let's get around to the inside of the car. So we will go for a drive at the end, I know, because this car is all about driving as well. Brushed aluminium, nice beige leather. This car in the rear, I'd say, was literally very, very seldom used in the rear. She did most of the driving a lot of the time by herself, and they had another car in the house as well, so the leather's in excellent condition. Armrest with some storage in through there, and then obviously as a GT it has the nice sunroof, and all the Civics actually came with this kind of sporty black headcloth that matches the black dark carpets in through there. All the plastics and all that kind of stuff look to be in nice condition. For anyone that wants to know about things like child seats and stuff like that, well, we've had Civics in the house at home for 5 years, 5 years, and I actually used to find it quite easy to get Isofix seats into the back of these quite easily. And then in terms of room in the back, if you've got adults or kids that are taller, so as a 6 foot person, this is the headroom you're going to have, and you'll have decent leg room as well. And then in here there will be tweeters up here and speakers down there. So actually this does have a premium audio system as a GT, which is a little bit better than what you find in the standard models, for the reason being that it actually gets 11 speakers instead of 8, and there's actually another one up here. Anyway, so in terms of the car, it doesn't have a key, so, well, it does, but for starting the car, start and stop is in through there. Again, the door cards are quite similar in the front of the car. Electrics for windows and mirrors down through here. Folding mirrors that we saw already. One cool thing on the mirrors, actually, they have a blind spot indicator. So see here, that lights up when somebody is kind of out of your visual field, just around that kind of hidden area there. They light up to warn you that there's someone there. Again, tweeter here, another speaker down through there, aluminium pedals in through there. This is cruise control with a speed limiter and actually adaptive cruise control. So basically the car in front of you slows down, you will slow down.
The brake pedal to release
and
the parking
if
brake.
Please
release the parking brake.
I lost my train of thought now. So basically, yeah, if you're following somebody, they slow down, you slow down. If they speed up, you speed up to whatever limit you want to set. And you can also then have a speed limiter that when you come into an area where there's a speed zone, you can have it set that basically it sees the speed sign, it tells you the the speed limits that you're coming into, and then it'll basically affect the car to respect that speed limit. So it's pretty cool. We'll see when we're driving. There is paddles here, so up the gears, down the gears. They're not really gears, it's a CVT. I'll explain that in a minute anyway. Headlights are automatic, so they come on and off themselves at night time, but they also dip when they meet traffic, and they go full when they go into an unlit area. This is a trip computer, average speed, fuel efficiency, radio, media, all that kind of stuff. And my favorite one then is a boost gauge, so it tells you exactly what the turbocharger is up to. You don't need to know, but I think it's nice. More storage, 2 drinks holders that actually separates, becomes 2 drinks holders with some more storage, a USB connector, There's also USB, HDMI and 12 volts down in through there. Yes, it is a little bit awkward, but you can drag wires in through there. Wireless charging for your phone. You can also stiffen the suspension using the adaptive dampers. Eco mode to reduce how aggressive your throttle response is, and cruise control and air conditioner, handbrake on or off. Sport, drive, neutral, park, park, and then reverse is here. Reverse also has a traffic cross monitor. It only comes on a GT, so essentially what that's doing is we can see a reverse camera here, right? But what it's doing is, okay, it's quite busy there this morning, but essentially when cars are outside the visual field, it's giving you this beeping warning and the arrow before they actually enter the kind of camera area that's quite visible. So it's quite useful, and it's only on this higher spec model when they have the blind spot indicator and that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's turn it off for a sec. Climate control, so that is dual zone, different temperatures on each side of the car, and then it's a touch and swipe screen, as is everything on the screen. Most people these days are going to use things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in through there, so that's for Google Maps and all that stuff. But to be fair, it actually comes with a Garmin navigation setup as well anyway. As a GT then, it's going to have heated seats, and especially when the car is leather, that is quite nice to have as well. This is electrochromatic, so it darkens itself at night time. There is a sunshade if you want to close that over, or obviously then you can tilt it straight upwards, or you can pull it all the way back out as well if you want. Anyway, let's go for a drive. So what I'm going to be doing is alternation between D for drive, which is comfortable, but I might go back into S as well to make it a little bit more sporty. Actually going to start off with S because I want to accelerate. And then over here, that is paddles that we talked about before. So, you know, I'll show you what's happening on the display. How do we get onto fuel? Get off that. Get onto the boost gauge. Okay. So they make 182 brake horsepower. It is a VTEC engine with a turbocharger. The VTEC's on the exhaust side, so if you're into older Hondas, it doesn't make the aggressive cam change noise, but it does improve efficiency on the exhaust end of things. And you have these paddles then to go up and down through the gears as well. So they're not gears, it's a continuously variable transmission, which gives you the correct engine revolutions. But what it will do is it will allow you to manipulate the kind of same style. It feels like gear changes, which is much more pleasurable when you're driving a car. And then the drive versus the sport mode. The sport mode maintains a higher engine revolution, which means the car is much more primed for overtaking when you're using it. But you can use the paddles in either D or S, whichever you want. If you come to drive the car, we'll show you exactly how it works. These are a surprisingly easy car on fuel. This car will knock out 5.5 to 6 litres per 100 kilometres all day long, which, okay, is not immense, but on a 182 horsepower car, in my opinion, that is immense. They are really weirdly easy on fuel. Not really much of a difference even between, I know this sounds like a big sales pitch, I promise you it's not. The diesel isn't a whole lot more fuel efficient, however they've managed to do it on this engine. It's super fuel efficient, and it's really nice to drive, and you know, it makes a nice hum and sound as well when you're driving it too. So it drives good. All the manuals are there, and like Crescenti then, there is a comprehensive service history from ourselves, because we sold the car new, good customer that had it, so service book is properly stamped. For anyone buying the car or considering buying the car, then you have a car that is going to be NCT'd until the first month of 24. And then the other thing as well is we're going to service the car obviously, and it will come with a 12-month warranty from ourselves as well. Now usually you have to say they are a good reliable vehicle, but it's a man-made machine, so you never know. So at least you have that peace of mind when you get a warranty from ourselves. But I suppose for me, it's just one of those cars, like, how would you say, I mean, A6s and 3 Series and 5 Series and all that, and they're all beautiful cars, and we sell Mercedes here as well, the E-classes and all that. They're all lovely cars, right? In my opinion, this is like not a hot hatch, but a warm hatch, and it's something that's a little bit different than all the other cars on the road. And in my opinion, okay, it's not as big as some of those cars I mentioned, but a lot of the time, do you really need a car that size? But this is something that's cool. It's got a good level of equipment, it's powerful. And actually these, like you're saying, they're very, very economical. They drive really nice. They're an economical vehicle, surprisingly economical for the amount of power that they generate. So it's a nice cruiser with a bit of power whenever you want it, with a good level of specification, looks cool. It's going to be a bit different. I think they'll always hold value well, like the older Type S's and all that kind of stuff used to years ago. So anyway, if you want information, 086 843 1945, Brian's my name. If you want information about scrapping a car, trading in a car, whatever you want to know. Anyway, hopefully the video's been useful, hopefully the car's of interest. Thanks for watching.